Currently internet was filled with Asia's richest man industrialist Mukesh Ambani's son Anand Ambani and Radhika Merchant ultra-lavish pre-wedding ceremony. It is the most expensive Indian wedding with staggering amount approximately rupees 1259 crore. Can you imagine how costly it might be? The cost might seem huge to the general public, but it doesn't even make a dent in the wealth, who has staggering real-time net worth of approximately rupees 9.7 lakh crore. This is 1.17% of total Mukesh Ambani's family net worth. Similarly, in 2018, Ambani spent on his daughter Isha Ambani wedding a whopping amount approximately rupees 828 crore, where her wedding attire was only of a lavish price tag of rupees 90 crore. Not only industrialists like Mukesh Ambani, but many celebrities, social media influencers does a grand, expensive wedding. Some of you might say, then what? They have money, so they does. Their money, their wish. Yeah, it's true. It's not a problem for such rich families, but concern arises as an average Indian can't afford such expensive wedding. But they dream of a highly unachievable Bollywood-like marriages despite of their poor financial condition. An average Indian middle-class wedding can cost anywhere from 3 to 25 lakhs, but it can easily go up to several crores. Indians spend almost 20% of their total life saving on weddings. Most spend more than their yearly family income on weddings. According to research by Pragati Gramoudयोग Evam Samaj Kalyan Sansthan, shortly known as PGS, more than 60% of the Indian families turn to money lenders to borrow funds for wedding ceremonies. Loans to cover wedding costs come with impossibly high interest rates, causing many families to fall into bondage to pay off the debt, especially on the bride's family, because traditionally the bride's family pays for the wedding. In some cases, they take loans to match the status of the groom's family and to fulfill their demands. The practice exists despite comprehensive legal provisions. Under the Dowry Prevention Act of 1961, both giving and accepting dowry in India is an offence, and the punishment for violating it is at least 5 years of imprisonment and a fine of either 16,000 or the value of the dowry given, whichever is higher. Dowry deaths accounted for 40% to 50% of homicides in the country for almost a decade from 1999 to 2018. According to National Crime Records Bureau, every hour an Indian woman is driven to suicide or is murdered over dowry. Every 4 minutes, a woman faces cruelty from her husband. One incident is of Bengaluru in early 2020. A husband demanded a cash a few weeks after marriage, despite receiving a kilogram of gold in dowry as per his demand. When his wife refused, he burned her alive. Multiple such incidents have surfaced in the internet. This is because of low conviction rates, as 1 out of 7 cases is only convicted and punished after years lengthy legal proceedings. So the law should be strengthened to eradicate such dowry practices. Now let's dive deep into big fat Indian wedding. From ancient times, the cost of marriage in India varied depending on factors such as social status, region, religion, and cultural practices. Marriage ceremonies were significant events, but they were typically simpler compared to modern weddings. Traditional Indian weddings expenses were primarily focused on essential aspects such as ceremonies, rituals, and basic celebrations rather than elaborate decorations or lavish feasts. Moreover, community support and collective participation often helped reduce individual financial burdens associated with weddings. The history of big fat Indian wedding is marked with economic liberalization of India economy in the year 1991. In India, the concept of economic liberalization was introduced to attain several objectives: industrialization, expansion in the roles of private and foreign investment, and introducing a free market system. So some sections of the society became richer and thus began to spend more on weddings. As we all know how cinema can build and destroy your narrative. At the same time, Bollywood movies frame narratives like excessive spending on weddings is a sacred part of Indian weddings. You can see in movies like Hum Aapke Hai Kaun and Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge. From then, weddings became an occasion for people to showcase their status symbol in the society, so increased a social pressure. The influence of celebrities, Instagram models, and industrialist marriages like of Priyanka Chopra Isha Ambani played a huge role in rise of big fat Indian wedding in India. Since in 2000s, the growth of youth in such environment and explosion of social media shifted onto new kinds of weddings. These days, people does Instagrammable weddings, spend a lot on photoshoot and videography, tries to replicate the Bollywood movies scenes and copy costly attires of celebrities' weddings so they can post in social media. The study titled IPSOS India Boss Views on Wedding interestingly shows 43% citizens endorse big fat wedding, believing them to be a part of our tradition and celebration. 36% felt big budget weddings are somewhat important as they have cultural significance but not essential, while 21% of perceived big budget weddings to be unimportant, unnecessary and wasteful. On the same report, it was studied that why India spends so much during weddings. 43% believed due to tradition and cultural values, 39% felt for showcasing wealth and status, 12% said due to social pressure and expectation, 11% felt due to innate desire for creating a lifetime memorable experience, 5% felt it was the influence of social media and celebrity weddings. Why do you think India spends so much on weddings? Comment below. Now let's understand the positive and negative side. The positive side I see in big fat Indian wedding is a great business opportunities which create a lots of employment. In India, 65% of Indians is under 35 years old, which means they are going to get married after a few years. According to an estimate by Confederation of All India Traders between 23 November and 15 December 2023, the 23-day wedding season alone generate a business worth rupees 4.25 trillion with 3.5 million weddings taking place, underscoring the industry's remarkable growth of 25 to 30% annually. In fact, the wedding industry in India has grown to whopping 13 lakh crores, ranking as the country's fourth largest industry. Just imagine the potential of this industry. Despite its immense size, the Indian wedding business remains largely unorganized, primarily due to limited online presence of vendors. So, big fat Indian wedding can give a lot of business opportunities for entrepreneurs, so can contribute to the country's GDP. It is said that this industry in India is recession-proof, meaning what may be the market dynamics, it will always be in demand. Now let us discuss the negative side. While more money is being spent on grand weddings, it also translates into increased food waste and environmental concerns. Nearly 40% of the food gets wasted at the weddings. Meanwhile, India grapples with a growing population of undernourished people. India ranks 111 out of 125 countries in the Global Hunger Index. For financially poor person, the money spent on weddings could have been used for their children's education. As people spend a large part of their savings on weddings, it puts them at a high risk of being vulnerable to emergencies such like health issues. By the end, I will not say big fat Indian wedding is good or bad. It's your personal choice. But I suggest to have planned wedding on the basis of your financial situation. If you have reached to this part of video, please subscribe, share and like this video to encourage me to bring such more valuable content. If you have learned something new from this video, I hope you will like this explanation on the farmer protest here. This side Abhinarai signing off.